And it is now 4 o'clock on the 14th. Um, I tried to last a little longer than I could have last night. Didn't work out. I'm back to uh, rebuilding the Facebook thing. I've decided that, well, I didn't really have a choice. I wasn't able to like anything, so. But I mean, I thought about it and I realized that the system doesn't work anyways, right? Um, it sends me all kind of stuff I'm not interested in, and like even considering that like I may have or may not have. Okay, so I was doing searches for stuff, and what I was looking for didn't show up, and I was specifically testing for it, right? So, for example, there's an Astra show on the 19th, and the Astra show didn't show up. The Astra show is at the Magic Stick, right? Like it's not a like this is one of the bigger venues that should be advertising, right? So why didn't that one show up? Um, that one's a little strange. Now I had X'd it out, but I X'd it in a different process, and some of the other ones that I X'd out were there still. So it was inconsistent to say the least, right? But I did happen to have a like up on the Astra show on Astra at the time, but there were other things that I was searching for, and I didn't, or I perhaps did not have likes up on the promotion companies, and they weren't showing up either, right? So it's like, but all this stuff that I didn't have any interest at all was showing up. So if it's, I mean, even if I did have the like up on it, then there's no guarantee that it's going to show up. So what's the use, right? Instead, I'm going to avoid that system. I may use it, but not for searching for shows, but for searching for new venues. I found a few, and if I keep doing it, if something comes up, then maybe it'll show up there, and it's. I think it's kind of a useful scope issue kind of thing, right? But frankly, I don't expect. I expect what I'm looking for to be taken out of the results. And I went over this once before, right? The algorithm is going to filter for certain things, and the algorithm is going to filter out what I want. That's just the reality of it, right? It's like, I'm sorry, but what I'm like the things that I'm interested in are exactly the things that the filter is going to take away. Such is the truth of it, right? Um, so what I'm doing instead is I'm going through and I'm finding all of the places that I subscribe to. I'm going to actually unlike them all, and I've actually finished doing that. So I mean, I have likes up on things, but I have likes up on events I've actually, or venues I've actually attended. And as I attend new venues, I put likes up on them. That's the system that I've been going with. Falling back to that, that provides me with a little bit of a short list that I can check, right? But what I'm doing for the broader list is I've decided I'm going to create a. What I've done is I've bookmarked a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm going to finish doing it. So everything that I had subscribed to is going to be bookmarked in Firefox in a little folder. And when I want to check my events on a monthly basis, what I'll do is I'll just go to the right click, open all tabs. I mean, I'll have to reopen my browser. And then I'll have like, I don't know what it is, like 100. Maybe it might make sense to organize it into a couple of folders and do it one at a time kind of thing. Like maybe a techno folder and a classical folder, and etc. Most of the reality is that most of the stuff that I don't have explicitly subscribed to is either techno or hardcore, because I like old punk. I don't like modern punk is like macho bullshit, right? So, well, I mean, it's the truth, right? I mean, it's when I can find a good rock band that you know isn't about proving how manly and strong you are, I can get into it. It's just it's harder and harder to find it. I think that that's probably at the end of the day, that might be the strongest influence of. I don't want to tar hip hop, right? I mean, it's. But the truth is that when hip hop loses its dominant masculine voice, it becomes like R&B, right? Like actual rap, hip hop culture, even when it's female fronted, is totally off the wall, macho, masculine, right? And that might be the. I mean, it's not to say it wasn't there already. Of course it was, but it seems to really be. Um, we seem to be going through a really strong bottleneck, and that seems to be it. Is that these genres are becoming really. Um, well, the reality, the expectation is being. Um, I think to an extent it is being pushed down. Um, the reality of it is that you've got pop music is being perceived of and largely marginalized as effeminate, and then you have metal and rap that are being kind of more promoted as dominant masculine forms, right? And all of the kind of more like psychedelic rock, for example, looks like it's going to be a complete casualty, right? I don't think we're going to have psych. Like when we might. What's going to happen to psych is that it's going to turn into like abstract disco reggae, right? Because it's too effeminate. It's being lost because it doesn't have the dominant masculine energy that seems to be required at the current moment. For all the talk of tearing down patriarchy and the success of women in the generations, the last couple of generations, it really seems to be that the art. Well, I mean, maybe that's a balancing out as well, right? Maybe 50 years ago, art was leaning more towards the feminine side, even when it was done by men. Maybe it's balancing out a little bit. Either way, we seem to be losing rock music to macho stupidity. Like I say, not it's not. I make it sound like it wasn't always that way, but it's the more subtle crannies. How did I get in this talk? Oh, I forgot how I even got here. Yeah, I was pointing out that the stuff that or the venues that I haven't been to, are mostly either going to be that they're too techy. I don't want to say too techy because I like to dance, but I need a certain level of abstraction. The night I went to I didn't take any footage the other night, but the show I went to the other night was like an industrial night, right? So there's a little bit of subtlety away from the bass house, although I ended up the night at a house bar, and that's where I'm going to end up most of the time. Just because it's open later. If I could find somewhere that's open till 7 or something, that would be better. But, well, at least on Saturdays, because the bus doesn't come until 8:30 on Saturday. So I've got a few hours. Basically, the way Saturdays have to work is I've got to go get some eggs in the morning. I don't really have a way out of it, right? The venue closes at 5, and the bus doesn't come until 8:30. If I'm out on a Friday night or even a Thursday night, I can get home earlier. In fact, even if I'm out on a Sunday night, although there's nowhere that's open late on Sunday, it's just kind of a. What it means is that for me, Fridays are better than Saturdays. Always. Just because of that truth. I can catch the bus early on Saturday. I can't catch the bus early on Sunday. Um, but yeah, if the venue is just like really mainstream techno, or I feel it doesn't have the kind of subtlety, or I think it's going to be like really meat barry, But I mean, like, I kind of wanna keep an eye on it, right? Because once in a while, something might show up there, or the venues might shift, kind of thing, right? It looks like the Rock Bar that I've been going to for the last little while, or have gone to a couple of shows at recently. Um, Maybe the person that was doing promo, or the person that was booking shows at the venue, is maybe kind of pulling out a little, and it maybe might be spinning towards more of a techno, but it looks like it's going to be spinning towards more of an interesting techno. Which, like I said, there was the industrial night the other night, and I'm going back for an IDM night. Not this week, but next. Um, so I want to keep an eye on kind of stuff like that, right? It's either going to be the stuff that's just hardcore, or stuff that's um, really just too techy. Or I mean, there's classical stuff that I haven't gone to Ann Arbor to see a classical show, right? I may never do that, but I kind of still want to keep an eye on what's going on there, right? Um, and etc. So there's all that kind of fun stuff there. If I can put it into little categories like that, it probably would slow things, or it would allow me to actually do it without killing me. If I try to open 200 tabs, my browser's just gonna crash, right? So, um, but this is the shift. It's time consuming. You know, that's the reality of it. The reason I'm doing this is because it's time consuming. But I mean, and I went down a false end, right? So I spent most of yesterday going down one way, and most of today pulling myself back, and I'm back where I started at the least now, right? So, I'm further than when I started. I've got a long list um, in the bookmarks folder, but I still have to actually go back and start again and do it from there. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the night. I don't expect to get anything else done. If I'm lucky, I'll get a start on the concert updates, and I managed to do this to myself again. I've got this recursion, right? So like I'm just like once I finish this, I go to the next, and then I go to the next, and then finally get back to what I'm doing, and then my workflow is so complex. It's totally scattered, going off in all different directions all the time. But see, my tragic flaw is I think this is going to take a few minutes, right? I'll take an hour and then get back to doing it, and then 2 days later I'm still doing it, right? Worst case scenario, 3 weeks later I'm still doing it. But I actually am almost done all of the things, right? It's like once I do kind of get over that flip, it'll come through quick. How am I feeling? I woke up with a headache still, and it's kind of come back and forth. It's a mild background headache rather than like I don't feel hungover. I'm becoming more and more convinced that I experienced a head injury the other night. I mean, I don't want to cause problems. It's just I would kind of like to know what happened. That's all. So, like I said, when I go down there next time, I'll have to have a brief chat just to kind of figure out what the fuck. But besides that, like I say, it's 11 after 4. Sun's still up. It's nice, huh? It's actually a nice day. We're gonna get a few more nice days. I should take advantage of that. I don't know. Next couple of days, you can go out and get a few groceries. I don't need a lot. I've technically not done any groceries this month. I spent some money on chips, and that'll end up on my grocery list. But like, it's not. Besides that, and I am gonna have to get like some fruit near the end of the month, kind of thing. But it won't be till like the 20th, so I can get by on I can get by on $50 this month, maybe. That's good. I'm like my budget is absurd on like I'm like minus $1,200. Whenever I go over on groceries, I add it to my overflow. My overflow has gotten to an absurd me get back to what I'm doing. I am still a little. Like I said, I really don't think I'm hungover. I think I'm concussed. It's just a mild background headache. Um, and I guess a kind of sense of floatiness. Um, should I go to a doctor? I don't have any bumps on me or anything. Like I don't have any bruises. That's the weirdest damn thing. I don't know. I think what I really wanted to know is what the fuck happened. Did I seizure on the cigarette? What I'm thinking is, that I may have like somebody may have like tried to crowd surf in me and like hit me with their shoe, or like I'm dancing in a enclosed space and I got elbowed. Like I'm thinking something like that is what happened, because my head is not. I could maybe see like if I had like 8 shots and 12 beers or something, like if I was drinking excessively, but I only had a couple. Like I had about a drink an hour, roughly, right? That's pacing. That's moderate. That's not enough to pass me out, and not enough to like I'm hungover 2 days later. What the fuck? Like that does not add up. It doesn't make sense. Something else uh, was at the root of what happened there. Anyways, like I say, I'm getting back to what I'm doing, and let's hope I can at least get the Facebook shit done tonight. I think I can do that. I think I can do that. Well, it's 10 to 1 in the morning, and I think I finally got the Facebook thing figured out. Yep, that took all night. Literally took all day. Um, it's a little bit resource intensive when it comes up, but I only need to do it once a month, so I'll deal with it. For now, I'm gonna get something to eat, and I may start to get some of this stuff off of this camera by the time tomorrow starts. We'll find out. I don't know. Um, how is my head feeling? Um, Better. I am feeling better. I right now I need to eat, but I am feeling better. It's my throat that's bothering me more so, and it's I think it's more than just dry air. I don't know. It's funny that I seem to get sick every time I come back from Detroit. I wonder if it's even the pollution. I don't know. Like I said, I gotta eat.